Oh, shoot. Oh, crap. Something happened. Hang on one second. So I may have to have you come back in because it said it deleted my go live. It's not even 10 minutes. Okay.
Oh, no.
Okay, hang up. I'm just gonna say, let me just tell the people, this is crazy. Shoot, 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 shoot. Crap, crap. Oh, you know what I did? I think, okay, is it still going? Okay, let's see. Okay, I'm gonna go back out here. I don't know, it came on Facebook, but then it said that it's not streaming to Facebook, but it was there. So let me try this one more time. Okay, guys, if you can tell me if you can, it looks like Facebook was deleted, so I am going to go back out and try to do this again. Let's see. StreamYard. Hang on one second. Okay, let's see. Ah. Okay, Kimmie, I'm gonna send you another link because this one didn't go. I don't know what happened with it. So I'm just gonna tell everybody that that I'm going to go out. We're gonna go out and come back in. So just go ahead. I'm gonna send you this link, and then you go out of here, and then we're gonna link it again. And I'm gonna just tell the people just to come in again. Let me just see here. Let me see. One, hang tight. We had some difficulties. Oh, I hate this. They'll be back in 5 minutes. Okay. Okay, I don't know if you guys can see me. Oh, it looks like it's in there. So I am so sorry. I don't know what happened. I got a message that said that it wasn't going to Facebook, and it said it, so it told me to redo it again, but it seems like you guys can see me. So it looks like I'm streaming. So let me get Kimmie back on here in just a second, and then we will get started. I am so sorry about that. Okay. Let me just get her back really quick. I hope everyone is having a good evening, and I appreciate you guys coming out to hang out with me as we talk with Kimmie about her releases. So just give me 1 second so I can get her back in here. Wow, I hate this. I hate when things don't go right. Okay, there we go. Got her back. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, I hope you all can see us now. Sorry about that, Kimmie. I'm so sorry. Okay, let's try this one more time.
It's okay. It's okay.
Welcome to the Book Bar, everyone. We are having a Books and Booze chat with Kimmie Ferrell. So you all give her a good VIP warm welcome over here.
Hi.
Come on in to the lounge. Okay.
Hi, everyone.
All right. Thank you. Yeah, I know. Thank you, everyone, for coming out here. And thank you for confirming that you guys can see me. I'm so sorry. I don't know what happened there. So Kimmie, thank you for finally joining the Book Bar. It's been such a long time since I've had you on here. I know Angela Anderson and I did a thing with you for the Christmas babes and everything, but I still wanted to have you on here just to talk about a couple of your other releases that came prior to the Christmas and babes. So tell everybody a little bit about who Kimmie is.
Oh, okay. Well, I am, like I told Midnight, I'm a reader who got interested in writing romance after reading a ton of Harlequin novels that didn't feature characters that looked like me. I was gifted a box at 13 by my mom, who didn't realize what was in the box of books that she gave me, but who supported my writing career throughout it. I am a family person, like I'm really family oriented. I'm goofy and, you know, kind of down to earth, a little awkward, but I'm me.
Oh,
Best
so
thing to
she a
say
lot.
is I am Kimmie.
Look, she a lot
Yeah,
like
no,
us,
yeah.
y'all.
She's unique. Kimmie is just unique. There's no one word to describe me.
All right, so today we are talking about two of your bodies of works. One is um, her. Let me just bring this up to you guys. So because we're going to be talking about some characters, so we're going to kind of talk about these books back and forth in here. So I'm going to bring up something that will kind of help you guys. You know, decide, when we're talking about it. So her first novel, I'm calling this her debut novel, Her Forever Fleeing. And the characters in this book is Melissa Gaines and Dr. Elijah Grayson. Okay. And then, of course, most of you all probably know about her Nine Frosty Nights that she did as a collab with some of the girls from Rose Gold. And those characters are Hayden Mitchell and Daxton Jameson. So when we talk about these characters, because y'all, I might throw them into interchangeable, so you'll know which one we're talking about. So let me just say this first, Kimmie. I want to say like two things that is my absolutely favorite about your books. One is you take us to these exotic places. And so we get to experience these places a little bit without leaving home. And that's a bonus for me. So that's one. And two, I love how you made the heroes in the book. They are the ones who are, I guess those are the ones that's getting shafted. Like they either want the romance, because usually our heroes are the ones who is running from romance or running from that commitment or whatever. But in these two books, she dropped off. But I'm just going to keep saying so you'll know. But she made these heroes the ones that was looking for love, and the heroines were the ones who was just like, no, I don't want that. You know what I mean? So those are two things that I really like about these stories. So when she comes back on, she dropped off, but when she comes back on, we'll have her explain to us what her inspiration was for that. Hey, Jennifer, Tiffany, Angela. Hey, Aja, how are you? It's good to see you. Maisha, LaShawn. Hello, everybody. Thank you for hanging out. We have a person out there that probably did not give permission for Facebook, but you're coming up as Facebook. So hello and welcome to you. Okay. Hey, Kimmie. So we were talking about your heroes and why those are the ones that was easy to accept the commitment and the women weren't. So what was your inspiration about having you kind of turning the tables of what we kind of, don't normally see? Uh-oh, did you freeze? Okay. Can you hear me? Okay, I think you're muted, Kimmie. Unmute yourself.
It's really bad.
Uh-oh. Well, we're gonna work
again,
through
I
it.
apologize.
No,
But
no.
I
think you're muted.
wait, wait. My bad. Okay, there we go. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Thank you, Tiffany. Thank you for that. Tiffany is just notified us.
Can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you.
Midnight, you can hear me?
I can hear you. Yeah, we were asking you about the heroes in the book. Why did you decide to make them the ones that were so welcoming the commitment and the women were not?
Okay. Tiffany is right. We are in the midst of a really severe storm, and it's
Uh-oh.
normally I base my women characters, like my female characters, off of me. So I was at a point when I wrote, uh oh, you can't hear now.
Yep. Come on. Keep going.
Um,
We can hear you.
I based them off, so they're difficult in like wanting to fall in love. Melissa, she had, just had her heart broke,
Mm-hmm.
something that I had gone through. And so I didn't want her to, okay, I didn't want her to just jump right into a reading. I wanted her to at first, but as I started writing her, she became more stubborn. So she didn't want to fall in love with Daxton. Whereas Melissa had a whole reason why she didn't want to. Hayden just didn't want to go through what she had gone through with her
Yeah.
employer.
Well, and the thing too about Melissa and Dr.
So
Elijah,
it's I
so
love both of the
they,
characters. I think that um, Melissa and Hayden were both headstrong, and them.
I don't know, Melissa, I don't know. Hayden definitely was headstrong. Definitely was headstrong. Melissa was, yeah, I don't know if she was as headstrong as Hayden was.
Yeah, Melissa was soft spoken. She was a sweetheart. Like I really think Melissa was me. And I channeled her like different parts, certain things that she did, certain things she said. It was me. And I was like, I need to pull back some from this character, but I was definitely invested in Melissa.
Oh, okay. Well, the one thing about Melissa, and I love how you did with her and Elijah, is that even though they were in this island, and guys, if you have not read the book, I apologize for that. The books have been out for a little bit, so hopefully we might say something in here. I'm going to try to stay away from giving anything away, but I do want to kind of dive into these characters. I've been waiting for a long time to talk about them. But what I like about what you did with Melissa and Elijah is that even though they came to this island, right, and then Grayson was at a point. I mean, Elijah was at a point where he was just tired of the same old, right? He was getting older or whatever, so he was getting tired of the
Mm-hmm.
same old. He wanted that special one for him. Melissa, on the other hand, had drama coming on, so we totally understand where she was coming from, right? But what I like about what you did with them
Right.
is that you didn't just throw them together. They had that whole time on that island and they cultivated that relationship. So I thought that was good. It was believable if that makes sense. You know what I mean?
I wanted that. I didn't want it to be a they fall in love, they meet. They had that first meeting where they bumped into literally and was crazy. Um he low key embarrassed her. She was very embarrassed, but she also kind of, got him back. But her embarrassment, the contents of her bag, what he handed her back and, what he said to her. Whereas his embarrassment was she read him for filth and then she
Mm-hmm.
walked away and he's stuck
Mm-hmm.
there like, huh, okay. He liked that. He's
Oh,
like, oh, she's feisty. I like that. So
yeah.
I really didn't want it to be a love story where they meet on this every island love story where they meet and everything is smooth sailing with them. I just wanted drama. I like drama, but I needed
Yeah.
drama with them, and it definitely was a lot.
Mm-hmm. So,
It was a lot.
and
Oh, you
then,
could probably hear the thunder and stuff.
okay. Well, if it gets too bad, let me know, because we can do reschedule, because I know being on when a storm is not the best thing, not the smartest thing, I guess. But let me get as much as I can now. So in Nine Frosty Nights, right, you had Hayden, who was the other heroine. And guys, let me tell you, Nine Frosty Nights, if you have not read this, she takes us to Iceland. And it was so tastefully done because you could get the imagery in there was really good about some of the plays. And I like how you threw in a little bit of culture in there too from her mentor. But she was one of those ones who had made a mistake before, kind of mixed business with pleasure. And then Daxton comes from, he was from this well-to-do family where they were still in this day and age doing arranged marriages, right? And for business purposes. And so he kind of got, he was doing it for his family, but he kind of got left at the altar, if you will. So again, here it is, the guy was making the commitment and the female was bouncing, right? So they had this whole romantic honeymoon set up in Iceland, right? It was a tour and everything. It was a private tour. So he gets left at the altar and he goes there. And then something happens with the original person with the tour. And then now we got Hayden who's doing the tour. Now Hayden is good at what she does, but she's in this male-dominant field, and she's got to prove herself, but her mentor is giving her this opportunity. And so, of course, they get together, but I love how she wasn't afraid to do those things there. Like, I love that adventure that she gave him. Now, I have to ask you this.
I would say that when I wrote... Oh, okay.
No, I was going to say, when you wrote those are some very vivid scenes in there. So tell me how you came up with all of that.
I don't know. I would say writing Nine Frosty Nights was one of the weirdest experiences I've had writing a book because it took me down so many rabbit holes. I have never gone to Iceland. I have never, ever gone to Iceland. But I was able to allow people to believe that I have. And there were so many people who were like, oh, you've been. And I'm like, no, I have never gone. And one of the things which really inspired me was Hallmark. When I was coming up with the concept, Hallmark did a movie. Hallmark did a movie and it featured Iceland. And so I'm sitting on the bed and I'm like, Iceland. And my nephew is sitting there like he's a baby. And so I'm like, okay, I like that. And I started watching this movie and it wasn't a great movie. Like it was one of the worst Hallmark movies I've seen, but because it was centered in Iceland and I had already come up with this idea to have my characters be in Iceland, I'm like, let me see. And I got some stuff from that movie as far as the culture. Like it made me look up so many different things. And as I started writing and piecing things together, and Leslie will tell you, Wright will tell you as we were talking about it, I was like, yeah, on the first day, they're going to do this, the second day. And I had all 9 days like planned out. Everything was planned out. And she's like, you can't take your readers through every single day. And I was like, but why? I want them to experience it. And she's like, no, 25,000 words, Kimmie, keep it. And I'm like, okay. And it was so difficult picking out like what I wanted everybody to see. But there were some points in that story where like places that I was like, I have to show this because I fell in love with pictures. And my family and I are planning a trip to Iceland in December.
Wow.
Like, yeah, Iceland really inspired me. So now it's like, okay, I gotta go. I want to see the Northern Lights, and it has to be in December. I don't want to go any other time. It has to be in December.
Okay, so okay.
It was different.
So do you think you will find more inspiration there when you go there? Like maybe something else?
As far as Hayden and Dakin, maybe not.
Yeah, no, maybe not
I
them.
kind of ended that story,
Mm-hmm.
but their friend, her friend has been kind of trying to talk to me. And I've been trying to successfully ignore her, but she's creeping in and saying she has a story to tell. We'll
Okay.
see. We will see.
Okay. So I started off by saying that her Forever Fling was your debut novel, and I'm holding to that. That is your debut novel. But prior to uh, her Forever
Yes.
Fling, you did a short story. And so the reason I mention that is because we're not going to go into that per se, unless you want to, we can. But what I want to say to you is that that brought you to that was what brought you to Rose Gold Press. And so what was that whole experience like, going from that, diehard reader like most of us are, and then all of a sudden you are, hooked up with this publishing company, and then, I'm assuming they took you on a test drive with the short story, and then bam, here you go with your debut novel. So explain to us a little bit of
No.
the process there.
It was the total opposite. So I I love and I don't want to get emotional because I am a very emotional person, but I met well, I knew Miss Cheryl because I entered Harlequin So You Think You Can Write contest, and my novel at the time was like the only Kimani novel, and she reached
Okay.
out to me. She was reading it, and her and Caroline Hector Hall, and they were reading it,
Okay.
and that's how I kind of got introduced to them. But Miss Cheryl and Leslie and Sherelle, and I feel like Angela was there, but I might didn't get the chance to meet her, and Anita. They were in DC, or well, they were in the area for the building relationships around books. There was a
Okay.
conference that Sharon Blount had in the area. And I was like, oh, I'll just go. I didn't know about it, but I'll go see Miss Cheryl. Finally say hi, finally meet her. And we were sitting in their room and we were talking about the state of Harlequin Kimani. It had just came out that they were disbanding the line, and I was distraught. And I was like, I'll never be published ever. And this is, it was, and Leslie and Miss Cheryl kind of like looked at each other and was like, don't stop writing. Whatever you do, just don't stop writing. And I was like, I know, I'll try, but, and they're like, no, don't stop writing. So I'm like, okay, I'll keep writing. And in August of that next year, I got a message saying, we need to talk to you. And I have anxiety. So I was like, about what? Why do we need to talk? Did I do something wrong? Did I say something? And I'm freaking out. And Miss Cheryl is like, calm down. You're fine. And I'm like, well, when you say fine, like, am I a little bit fine? Am I a lot of bit fine? Like, what do you mean? And I won't forget this day because my family went to Hershey in Pennsylvania. And so
Okay.
my sister is driving back to DC, and she's doing 90 on the highway because I have a phone call at 7:30 and it's like 6 o'clock. And so we're
Oh,
driving back to DC, and she's, speed demon. We get in the house and they're like, this is what we're starting, and we would like you to be a part of it. And I cried.
oh, I think you told me a little bit about this story before.
I
Ah.
cried. And my mom was like, and my mom passed away back in 2020, but my sister are my
Oh, wow.
biggest supporters.
Hmm.
So as I was sitting on my floor listening to them detail everything, and I'm like, okay, okay. And I'm crying. And then my sister peeks her head through the door. And then I'm crying. And then my best friend walks in with a shot glass, and I'm crying. And then my mom, stop crying. And I get off the phone with them, And I was like, I have to walk to a store. I have to keep moving because this is insane to me. Her Forever Fling was supposed to be my first release. Um, I was not going to take part in that short anthology. It
Mm-hmm.
was supposed to be her Forever Fling, but my mom got sick, and so I was stressing, and I couldn't write and focus on her. So they were like, 10,000 words, just write something short. We'll do this. And don't worry about her Forever Fling. They were, very kind because it just kept getting pushed back and pushed back. And
Okay.
so I wrote Stuck With You, which I plan on working on and adding some more to and hopefully releasing soon if life doesn't get in the way. And Stuck With You came out, and then a year later, her Forever Fling finally made her release. It was a
Wow.
process, but Rose Gold Press is I those ladies will never ever 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 understand like how thankful I am for them. And I say that a lot because even as a writer, I don't have the words to tell them like this is how much you all have helped me, because it's not just like write a book and get it out. It's actual mentorship. Hey
Yeah.
Kimmie, you describe that way too much, and I'm learning more about myself as I'm writing it. Some of the stuff I'm not really, grasping yet, so I'm still struggling, but they were with me every step of the way. And even now, I bother them a lot. So
Yes,
as long
you
as they
don't.
have me, no, I definitely do. I'm probably going to text Miss Cheryl soon because like I don't feel like I've gotten on her nerves enough this week. So yeah.
But
And she'll probably text me like, don't you text me.
you sound a lot like us, and actually, I put the comment Tiffany just made. So she sounds like me. Tiffany, I have to agree. I think she sounds like a lot of us, especially because when there's one thing to write, but then, on the flip side of us, the readers, and I think you know this part very well too. Like when you go out there and you make up your mind to be part of this community and support these authors and do what you can, to keep this community alive, right? And show people that, hey, we're out here, we're doing the damn thing, right? The authors are. So I think you understand that sometimes you need that accountability partner, right? You need somebody to tell you that, yeah, it's true, Tiffany. I mean, it's all of
Yes.
these things she's saying is
The struggle is
absolutely
very
correct,
real.
right? So
It's very real.
I am glad that they actually started, because I remember when I started following them and going to events with them. Uh, it was during that time when Kamani and everything was going, and then it's the pushback about we're not reading, we're not buying books and stuff like that, which was totally not true. And then there was also comments about romance wasn't really. It wasn't a big entity. It wasn't making a big splash, which we all know is totally not true. So I think and I had
Not
mentioned
true.
yeah, I had mentioned to Sherelle and Angie and I think Anita at the time, like, guys, you all just need to just buckle up and do your own thing. Like we should just have our own publishing company. And I was
When
for
I did
real,
it,
but I didn't think it took me serious. Yeah.
no, yes, I'm glad that it for me at the time, it was one of those things that at least I had never heard of. Like, I'm a reader, yes, but at the same time, I was kind of a born bred Harlequin reader. So that was kind of my focus, even though I kind of strayed sometimes, and
Hmm.
was introduced to other authors, but it was still something missing in these contemporary romances that was like Harlequin Kimani. Like I wanted more of that.
Hmm.
And so when they came and was like, "Hey, this is what we're going to do," I was like, "I like that. think I did work. I don't think that the table is too small where it's like everybody's starting a publishing company. No,
Mhm.
I think that there's more than enough room at the table. Midnight, if you decide you want to start a publishing company, just do it. It's like you as a reader, but no, as a reader, you want to read and you want to read from different places. And people feel like there's not enough or there's too much, like the market is oversaturated, and it's not. Because what I like, you may not like, but this company does it. And what you like, I might not like, but that company does it. So it's giving variety. And I think that's what we need.
Yeah,
Like Black
definitely.
romance needs variety. So I'm
Well,
happy that I'm glad they did it. They are phenomenal women, literally. And I don't think without them, like I said, I don't think I would be here published without them. So I might have to go mess with all of them real soon.
well, we definitely appreciate you and them. But in your writing process, though, like I'm thinking in my head, and I could be presumptuous. But like as a new writer, is it easy or was it easy for you to write in a collaboration or solo? And what do those processes look like for you?
So writing Nine Frosty Nights, I did like it was easy. I felt like I was the rookie on the All Star team because these are all authors whose books I've read.
Hmm.
So I'm coming in like, hey, I'm Kimmie, and I think they will tell you like there were times when I would be like, thank y'all for having me because I don't know what I'm doing. But it was a very detailed, organized process where we went through details like so that everybody can have the same details in their books. As you all can see, it's like it was an auction. So,
Hmm.
the name of the auction, all of that was planned. And when it was presented to me, like, hey, this is what we're doing. Here are some of the facts. You make your story, you choose your title, you choose your number because we had to pick a day. And everything else was like we come up with it ourselves, but there was so much details that had kind of already been pre-planned. And
Okay.
we worked with Sherelle on the covers. She got in contact with all of us to figure out what we wanted our covers to be. It was a lot. I was very overwhelmed. It was not easy at all. It was a lot,
Mm. All right,
but it
okay.
was so
But
worth
so
it. It was fun. It was definitely fun.
now, do you is your processes the same for both of them? Like, so obviously, writing with the collaboration was more structured, and we can understand why it was more structured
Yeah.
because you got a lot of people, you gotta keep up with. But now, when you wrote her forever fleeing, that was a solo process for you. So did you feel like you had more creative control when you wrote that book as opposed to when you wrote Nine Frosty Nights?
I felt I had a lot of creative control on both of them. I don't think that varied. But with Her Forever Fling, I think that the process for me was a lot different because one, I knew that it's my debut. Um, Everything else, like the research and everything, that story was basically made. It was a story that I submitted to Harlequin Medical Romance for Blitz that they had, and it was
Oh,
rejected. And I was like, okay, well, I'll fix it. Let's, because they were never on an island when I first wrote it. So
mhm.
I took that story and then changed details. And when I sent it in, they liked it. The thing was, it was pushing 80,000 words because I'm heavy handed. So at first it was pushing like 80,000 words, and Miss Cheryl was like, "No, no, cut it." And so I got it down to like 72. So, but the same amount of research went into it. The difference was is chart is something that I made up, and I drew from the island. I made that up. I drew from
Okay.
inspiration from Trinidad and Tobago, where I've never gone, and Bermuda, where I went back in like 5. So it was. She definitely freaked those. Yes, yes, she definitely freaked those covers, and she did. She did those covers, and she did my cover for Forever Fling as well. So that like
Which is
she's
a
definitely
very
talented,
gorgeous cover.
and
I
the
love
process,
this.
the yeah, it, that cover makes me so happy, blush, and it's when I talked to her about it, I was like, "Yeah, Elijah has a tribal tattoo. Can we get a tribal tattoo?" And she's like, "Say less." And there it is. And I was like, "Ooh, girl, him now." And
Yeah,
she's like, "Okay,
you're right. I forgot that he
chill
had
out."
that. I forgot about his tribal tattoo. I forgot about that. Uh, I
And
really, really, really
yeah,
enjoyed
his
this
tribal
couple here.
tattoo. The only reason they, I love all my couples. I don't have a favorite. Um, yeah. I love all my couples. I'm at that point where I hate them, when I'm writing them, but then when they're done and they have left me alone, I'm like, yeah, no, I love you. Yeah. So Melissa and Elijah have left me alone, but their friends haven't. So yeah.
Well,
We'll
okay,
see about that too.
that brings me to another question I have for you. Do you ever read your books after they've been released?
Oh, yes. I'm so I don't I
Why
shouldn't
not?
because then I'm sitting there like because now I'm free. Okay, so you freak out the entire process of writing this book, and then it's out there, and now I'm reading it like, ooh, will readers understand that joke? Like, especially now that my sister will tell you, there is a joke in Her Forever Fling that is cringeworthy, but I still like sit here and sweat over it. And it's the part when they're on the beach and he's talking about sleeping pills. And for me, I'm like, I understand my humor. Like he has a weird sense of humor, but will anybody else get that? So I read it and I was like, oh no, this is so cringeworthy. Why did you write that? So I'm like dissecting everything I wrote. Like, wrote this, you should not have wrote that. Why did you write that? And it's so bad. So I said I would not read them, and then I read them both.
I know
I read
those were
and
some
I
good stories.
devoured them. Like I read everything. I didn't skip. I devoured them. So bad.
Uh,
It was so bad.
no, I think it's
I don't
cool.
plan on reading the next one though. Whatever comes. Mm, I
That's
can't.
what you
I don't
say.
like reading
That's
my
what
own
you
work.
say
Period.
now.
So, and then I'm gonna be like, yeah, I sat there and I read it, and I can't wait. Like I love reading it, and sometimes I'm sitting there like, you wrote that? Like, ooh, who wrote this? And I'm like, oh wait, I wrote that. Girl, you wrote that. Hey, you wrote that. But like, it catches me off guard sometimes because I'm like, whoa, I didn't know you can write like that. But yeah,
Wow.
it's definitely interesting.
You know, so if you
It's
guys are just joining us in the book bar, we are talking with Kimmie Ferrell. We're talking about a couple of her most recent releases. We're talking about Her Forever Fling, which is her debut novel. And we're talking about Nine Frosty Nights, which was a collaboration she did with a couple of authors. And it was titled Babe of Christmas, right? I can't remember now what it was called. Christmas Babe, Babe of Christmas, or
yeah,
something like
the Bays of Christmas.
Bays of
Bays of
Christmas.
Christmas. Yeah.
So Kimmie, so what do you do to celebrate after a release?
Sleep. sleep. I play The Sims. I have
Oh
to
wow,
do
you still
something
play
that gets me
Sims?
away from writing.
Oh wow.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm a huge Sims 4. Like I love The Sims 4. I've
Mm-hmm.
had all the Sims. I also Grand Theft Auto. But I won't say that that's a celebration because when my characters irritate me, I go Grand Theft Auto. It's like, But my sister may take me out to dinner. We might go out to dinner. Always pop a bottle of Prosecco because I love Prosecco.
Oh, I
But then again, I
know.
pop Prosecco when I'm writing characters because they're crazy. But the
Oh,
celebrations are low key. I don't want to do anything too huge. Nothing too big.
okay. Well, as long as you celebrate the milestone. And then, okay, so I have to ask you this too, because you're kind of a newbie. Well, I would ask this to anybody really. So, what is it like when you get that review for your, or should I say, what was it like when you got your review for your first novel?
Scary. Scary. We sent out arcs of her Forever Fling, and as like I started to read them, and to this day I check Amazon every day to see if I have a new rating or review. And it's so
Mm-hmm.
bad, but I do. And that very first one feels like Christmas morning, like on repeat, because
Mm-hmm.
you read it and you read it and you read it, and it's like you're celebrating this. You work so hard. Like I worked so hard, and people actually enjoyed it. And I didn't think people would. I'm
Mm.
like everybody. I didn't think people would enjoy it, but then you got people like, "Girl, let me tell you how I feel about this character," and I'm like, "Really? You really love me?" So
Mm.
that very first one for her Forever Fling, I cried. I cried, and I screenshotted it. I actually have like from the arts. I have screenshots of all of those. I haven't printed them out or blown them up yet, but that's something that I'm considering.
Okay. Okay.
But yeah, I cried. I like a baby.
You had something in your bio that I thought was interesting, and so like for me as a reader, if I'm running across a new author, I like to know a little bit about the person before I read the book because I want to try to see if I can find you in that story or something. I don't know what I do. I just do a lot of crazy things, right? So I was reading
It's
your
okay.
bio. I was reading your bio, and I saw something interesting in what you said. You said, you craft sensual and sweet contemporary romance stories featuring relatable characters dealing with real world scenarios in the pursuit of an often thought as elusive. And I want to capitalize on that word elusive happily ever after. And I think I think I was in the process of reading her Forever Fling when I took a break and read this. And so then, of course, that word did stick out to me. Just I read your whole bio, that one word just stuck out from everything. And when I finished reading it and then reading Nine Frosty Nights, I was like, she's spot on with this because these women, and then sometimes a little bit the men, just don't believe that they can have that 100% happiness with that one person, you know, like they feel like if they get with
Right.
somebody, it's going to be they either out for something or they're not going to do them right or they're just for a minute and not the lifetime. So um, when you was writing this bio, I don't know, like how did that word is just such a powerful word reading your two stories. It's just powerful. Like it's
Me.
just, yeah. So is this
it's it's
how you
me.
were
I
feeling?
am that person.
Okay.
That's how I feel. I feel like a lot of Black women feel this way.
Mm-hmm.
Um, like we're conditioned to believe like you be happy, and then you have some who actually achieve it. But for the most part, a lot of women believe that it's, and I don't think that's why I turned to romance. I was bored. I wanted to read. But as you start reading and you seeing these women get their happily ever after, you start to believe like I can do that. I can get
Yeah.
that. And so I wanted to write women who don't, who sometimes feel like, no, this is not for me. I'll never have that. But then they meet somebody who changes their whole entire world. And that's what I'm waiting for too. Like it's
Okay.
me. So maybe that might change. Hopefully one day soon. Maybe.
Yeah, and I think sometimes when we're reading books, sometimes a lot of, I mean, if you talk to readers and you know yourself, when we're reading, we're reading to get away from maybe the real world a little bit and go to a happily ever after. But I think in doing that, we learn, sometimes we do learn a little bit about ourselves, or we can believe that you can have that happily ever after in a situation. So yeah, so that just, I just wanted to tell you that that
Yeah.
word
And
has
that's what I
always
want.
out. Hmm.
Okay. I want that. I want everyone to pick up my book, and I wanted to go through a journey. Like go, I want the readers to journey with these people. Get inside their heads where you yourself feel like I can't do that. You know, I'll
Hmm.
never have that. And then as you see it happening with the characters, you start to believe and become inspired to feel like this is happening to you, because that's how I started when I started reading, even though the
Hmm.
characters weren't African American. I used to picture myself as these, and I was a youngin, so I was picturing myself as these characters, putting myself in their shoes, and that's how when they got their happily ever after, it was like me getting my happily ever after. So
Hmm.
that's what I want readers to go through, this whole process of reading the books and finding that happily ever after and feeling like you achieved it with the characters.
Okay. Okay. So of course the time is going by so fast. So we got to get into what's happening next for Miss Kimmie. What are we expecting? Do you have a little something you can share with us?
I am working on a well, my working process. I have two. The first
Oh.
is a yeah. I really want to revisit Stuck with You with Gianna and Landon. Um, I want to show the readers why I don't like Landon. Like everyone, when that came out, it was collective. We don't like Landon's mother. I want you all to see why I don't like Landon's mother. So I want to extend that,
Okay.
maybe to a longer novella in around Christmas, maybe, hopefully. Um, but I'm also working on a not really a sports romance. It's completely different from Her Forever Fling and Knife. It if this is the box, I'm like over there.
Oh
It's
wow.
out of my comfort zone. And I think one of the reasons why it's taking me so long to finish it, even though I'm literally on the last chapter, um, on the last scene, is because I don't know how it's going to be perceived. Because it's different for me. It's more like a erotic romance,
Oh
or an
wow.
erotic um, but it's definitely different. It features a professional football player and an owner of a high-end clothing boutique slash fashion designer in Vegas. It features
Hey,
Vegas, so
listen,
it
I'm here
happens
for
in
all
Vegas.
that. But yeah, me and
Whatever
Tiffany
happens
both
in
got
Vegas
two
stays
people.
in Vegas. Sometimes it don't, but it definitely it's a little different, and It's been like a roller coaster writing it because I'm thinking about the readers. How are they going to take this? Is this something that people want to read? Um, is this too far from Her Forever Fling? Because to me, they're polar opposites.
Mm-hmm.
This one is very raunchy and out there. It's definitely a hot, steamy, and I want people to be, oh,
Well,
Kimmie, okay. We see you. We see you.
I'm sure that will be the
Can't wait
thought
to.
process. Mm.
I hope
All right.
so. I'm going to
No,
probably be looking for beta readers and art readers. So look out for, that because I'll definitely need some feedback. My alpha readers, as I call them, they reading the book with me as I write,
okay.
and they like it. So we
Okay.
shall see.
Well, yeah, I'm sure there will be a lot of people standing in line to get that. So, Kimmie, did you want to
I
do a
hope so.
giveaway?
Yes. I don't have the paperbacks with me. They are literally over there. I forgot them.
Okay.
But
So here,
I
let's
want
just
to give away.
we'll
Look,
give
they're
it. We'll
behind me.
yeah. Here. So here. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, I'm messing up. Here
I,
I go. All right. So here we go. We got 9 Frosty Nights with Hayden and Daxton, and this is the scene is set in Iceland. So cool. This book was. And then we have Melissa and Elijah, who was on a French Caribbean island. And this one was so cool too. This cover is just everything. So will you do one of each?
that covers. I'm
Okay.
actually going to give away 2 of each.
Okay. All right.
There'll be 2 winners, and you'll receive both books. They'll be autographed. It'll come with a pen that I love to give away. And yeah, so all you have to do is just email me. Um, yeah, just
I'll
email
get the
me, and
information.
I'll type in my email address. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
Go
just email
ahead.
me your favorite place to get away. Nothing different.
Ooh. Okay.
And I'll give
Um.
away 2 books, and then I'll pick the winners by, let's say, Thursday. Yeah, Friday. Let's do Friday. Give you all some time. Friday.
Okay, guys. So get it in. Send her email. Did you want? Let me type it in here. Or did you want to type your email in there? Go ahead and type your email in the comments so they can
I can
see it.
type it in.
Okay. Yeah, type it in there. So, guys, get those emails into Kimmie about where's your favorite place to get away. And she will be choosing the 2 winners who will be getting copies of Her Forever Fling. These are signed copies, right?
Yeah, there'll be autographed copies.
Autographed copies of Her Forever Fling, which is Melissa and Elijah's story, and also 9 Frosty Nights, which is Hayden and Daxton's story. And guys, if you have not read these stories and you get these books, I'm telling you, it's a treat. Even if you have read them and you get the books, it's going to be a memorable thing to have on your shelf. These are definitely shelf worthy. I have to say, these covers are nice. The stories are nice. Kimmie did a great job in both stories. Kudos to you.
Thank you.
Okay.
That means a lot. Thank you, Midnight. Thank
No,
you.
seriously, like, you may have been the new kid on the block. You may have been the rookie, as you say, but you held your own with these 2 stories, and I for one absolutely love them. They were just like quick little reads, romance, but you had a full complete story. So, and I think I told you that when I read For Her Fling, because like it was like
Yeah.
I don't know if you would consider that a novella, because I know I've been trying to learn how many words is considered a novella, a novelette, and a small story. too
See,
much.
I've
Y'all
never
gotta
heard of novelette, which is weird to me. I would consider it a full contemporary story. Like
yeah.
once it hit 50, once it hits like 55, then yeah, no, that's a full story.
Yeah.
You
Okay.
can have
So
that's a full story.
So anyway, so guys, get those emails in, and she will choose her winners by Friday. And when you get them, if you have not done so already, read them, review them, and let her know how you enjoyed the story. Kimmie, why don't you
Thank
take a moment to tell
you.
everybody how to follow you, your social media platforms?
So, social media platforms are as follow. You can follow me on Facebook. It's author Kimmie Ferrell. I have a personal page. I welcome people to follow my personal page also, which is just Kimmie Ferrell. Um, you can follow me on Instagram, which is at Kimmie Ferrell, and my TikTok, which I'm new to, so don't judge
Oh
me.
Lord, oh
That's
Lord.
yeah. I had a friend who was like, "You need a TikTok," and I was like, "I don't want to do that." And then I got on it, and now I'm addicted to it. So I don't post a lot, but I post some. That's at Kimmie Ferrell as well. I'm trying to think. Oh, you can email me anytime. KimmieFerrell@gmail.com. Visit my website, which is www.authorkimmieferrell.com. The main two words in there is Kimmie Ferrell.
Right,
Everything
right.
is Kimmie Ferrell. So, and
Okay, you make it
I
easy.
really look forward to like, yeah, yeah. Like if you have anything to say, I'm welcome. It. I really, I'm still learning, so it would mean a lot to like get feedback. If you got questions, all of that, I'm open to answering it.
Mm. Well,
So
I
just
wanted to
follow me.
personally, I want to personally thank you for coming on the Book Bar and hanging out with me. It's been so long overdue, so I'm glad we finally got together. And this will not be the last time that you visit, I hope. But I do want to say thank you so much for sharing your craft with us. I know it cannot be easy for an author to come out here and just, bust yourself wide open, in front of us, because we can be gruesome sometimes. I know. But I do want to say thank you, thank you, thank you for coming out and sharing some time with us. Let us know what's going on with you and telling us your inspiration about these books that most of us have probably already enjoyed. I know I have. So I want to say to you,
Thank you.
here's on the next work of art. And you have a great
Thank
evening.
you.
Everybody
You
be safe
too.
and have,
Everyone stay safe.
okay. All right. Take care.
Good night. Thank you.
Mhm.